and welcome to the Morning Exhale. I'm Stephanie Gaines-Bryant. Let's begin exhaling this morning by rolling your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Once more, let's roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let's turn your head to the right. Gently lower your chin towards your shoulder. Inhale your head up. Exhale, bring your head back to center. Let's do the other side. We're going to inhale, turn your head to the left. Then exhale, gently lower your chin towards your shoulder. Inhale your head up. Exhale, bring your head back to center. Let's bring some movement to the spine this morning. We're circling around, bringing movement to the hips and the spine. The next time your torso is facing forward, pause and circle in the other direction. Very good. Come to a neutral spine. I've been sitting on top of my blanket this morning, so I'm going to move that blanket out of the way. And the reason I sit on top of my blanket is so that my hips are at the same level as my knees. So I'm coming off the blanket. Now bring your hands behind you. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Let's lower your knees to the left. Come back to center. Lower to the right. Come back to center. Lower to the left, and we're going to bring your body all the way around into an upward twist. Exhale, untwist. Let's move to the other side. Bringing your body all the way around into an upward twist. Exhale, untwist. Let's grab your blocks, and I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together. I want you to take your blocks and bring your blocks underneath your knees. You can have your heels closer to your groin, or if it's more comfortable, you can have your heels further away from that groin area. Let's do some breathing this morning. So I'm going to put up my left hand, and you can use your right hand as well. And I want you to take your thumb, bring that thumb into the left nostril. Exhale out of the right nostril. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Inhale, switch. Let's do that 5 times at your own pace. Once you've completed that 5th time, bring your hands back down to your ankles or your knees, wherever your hands were resting before. Once more, let's roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let's put the blocks to the side now and stretch your legs out. Bring your hands behind you, pressing out with your heels. Point your toes, heels, toes, heels, and toes. Let's come back to heels. We're going to take your right ankle, bring it across the left leg, lengthen up, hinge forward, touch your shins, ankles, or your toes. Let your head relax. Breathe. Inhale, sitting up. Let's uncross and do the other side. We're lifting up your leg, and we're going to bring that leg across the other leg. Lengthen up. Hinge forward, touching your shins, ankles, or toes. Inhale, sitting up. Let's bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Let's slide a little closer to the front of your mat. Hands come underneath your thighs. Lift your chest. We're leaning back for upward boat. Now let's roll on down to your back. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor once more. Let's bend your right knee, bring it into your chest, interlace your fingers on your shin. Let's circle your foot.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That's my watch talking to me this morning. So let's circle the foot and then circle in another direction, in the other direction rather. Now let's bring your hands underneath your thigh, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, and release. Let's do the other side. Interlace your fingers on your shin, draw your knee in towards your chest, and circle your foot. Pause. Circle in the other direction. Now let's bring your hands underneath your thigh. Let's straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and bend. Now let's bring both knees into your chest. Stretch your arms out to a T. Let's lower down to the left, and I want you to turn your head to the right, if that's comfortable for your neck. Bring your knees back to center, lower down to the other side, turning your head in the opposite direction. Then back to center. Let's lower down to the right once more. Breathe. Now we're going to take your left hand, bring it to the right hand. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's open up your arms, bring your knees back to center, and we're lowering down to the other side. This time we're taking that right hand and bring it across to meet the left hand. So let's inhale, close. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Exhale, open one more time. Inhale, close. Exhale, open. Bring your knees back to center. Stretch your heels to the ceiling for dead bug, reaching your fingers towards your toes. Breathe. Bend your knees into your chest and bring your feet back down to the mat. Bring your arms now down by your side. On an inhale, let's scoop up your hips. Exhale, release your hips down. Inhale, scoop up your hips. Exhale, release your hips down. Inhale, scoop up your hips. Exhale, release your hips down. Let's add some arms to it. So as you inhale, you're lifting your hips, lift your arms up and overhead. Then exhale, release your arms, release your hips. Inhale, lift up your arms, lift up your hips. Exhale, release your arms, release your hips. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift up your arms, lift up your hips. Exhale, release your arms, release your hips. I want you to grab one of your blocks. We're going to take that block, bring that block underneath your sacrum area, and we're going to stretch your legs out and bring your arms up and overhead. Let's stay here for 6 breaths. Now let's bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Let's take that block, remove that block from underneath your back, and we're going to roll over onto your side. Let's take your left hand. You're going to press into that hand to bring you back up into an upright seated position. We're going to swing around and come up onto your knees for table pose. If you need your blocks for assistance, let's bring those blocks to the front of your mat, pressing into the blocks, coming up onto table pose. Now let's move those blocks to the side. Your palms are firmly rooted to the mat. Always make sure your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. Let's do some cat and cow. Round your back, chin to chest. Drop your tailbone for cat. Inhale your head up. Drop your abdomen down. Lift your tailbone for cow. Now, when you do cow, make sure you don't raise your chin all the way up like you're trying to look up towards the ceiling. Just look straight ahead. You never want to do anything that's going to compromise your cervical spine. So let's do a couple of cat and cows at your own pace. When you get to cow, just look straight ahead. Very good. Let's come to a neutral spine. We're going to curl your toes under, your back toes under, and let's bring your hands to your sacrum area. And I want you to lean back. You can keep your hands at that sacrum area, or you can reach for your heels, coming into camel pose. Act as if there's a string lifting your sternum up to the ceiling. Breathe. Inhale, coming up. We're going to come forward, and I'm going to grab my blocks. Let's take your right leg. We're going to stretch your right leg out and just move forward and back, bringing some stretch to your calf, to your arch, to your toes. Now on your next exhale, let's bend into your knee, bringing your foot in between the blocks. Inhale your arms all the way up to V position. Exhale, bring your hands down to the blocks. We're going to curl your left toes under, lift up your knee. Now let's straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and bend. Step your back foot up. We're stepping that left foot up, coming into chair pose. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms together. Exhale, down to your heart center. Soften your knees. Bring your hands back to your block. This time, we're stepping that right foot back, lifting up your heel in the back. Then let's straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and bend. Step your back foot up, coming into chair. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms together. Exhale, down to your heart center. Let's do some of our standing postures today. Let's separate your feet, coming into a wide stance, as wide as possible. Then you're going to pivot your right foot forward, bend into your front knee. Keep your hips squared to the side. Stretch your arms out to the side. Then let's straighten, bend on the inhale, straighten, exhale, bend, straighten, bend, and straighten. The next time your knee is bent, let's bring your forearm down just above your knee. Lift your back arm up and overhead for side angle pose. Now let's come all the way up, and we're going to drop that left arm back, lifting up your right arm for reverse warrior. Breathe. Now let's come back into side warrior. Straighten out that front leg, pivot forward, release your arms down. Let's pivot in the other direction. Bend into your front knee, squaring your hips to the side, stretch your arms out to the side. Now let's straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and bend. Bring your forearm down just above your knee. Lift your back arm up and overhead. A nice long line of stretch from your right fingertips all the way to your heel. Now let's inhale, lifting all the way up to reverse warrior. Breathe. Now let's come back to side warrior pose. We're going to step that back foot up, coming into chair pose. Let's bring your hands back down to the blocks. Let's step your left foot back and lower your knee down to the mat. We're going to slide that other foot back as well. Let's bring your blocks to the side now. And I want you to push back into child's pose with your arms stretched out in front of you. Breathe. Let's inhale. You're going to lower your hips, slightly lift your chin, coming into upward dog. Now let's press into your knees, pushing back into child's pose. Inhale, moving forward into upward dog. Exhale, pushing back into child's pose. Once more, inhale, moving forward into upward dog. This time, curl your back toes under, lift up your hips, coming into downward dog. Let's lift up your right leg, and we're pointing your toe and lifting as if you can touch the ceiling with your big toe. Then release. Now let's do the other side, lifting up your leg as if you can touch the ceiling with your big toe. Then release. Now let's lower your hips down, coming into plank position. Breathe. Let's lower your left knee down and lift up your right arm. Let's bring your hand to the back of your head. Elbow is facing the ceiling. On an exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Bring your hand back down, and we're going to do the other side. Stretching your leg out, and we're taking your hand, bring your hand to the back of your head. Your elbow is facing the ceiling. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Release your hand. Bring your knee down. And we're pushing back into child's pose once more. Then we're going to come down onto your forearms and stretch your legs out. We're coming into a low plank. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Breathe. Now gently lower your belly down to the mat. Uncurl your toes. Bring your palms next to your chest. Bring those big toes closer together. Elbows hugged in like chicken wings, as I always say. Press into your palms. Scoop that pelvis into the mat. Lifting up your chest. Lift up your head for cobra. Then release. Let your body melt down onto the mat. You can bend your knees and just windshield wiper right and left. Release your legs back down to the mat. And I want you to stretch your arms out behind you. Your palms are down. Bring your hands about a hand length away from your hips. On your next exhale, you're going to lift up your chest, lift up your legs, lift up your arms. For belly down boat. Then release. Let your body melt down onto the mat. Let's just wiggle your hips now, right and left. Come to stillness. Bring your palms next to your chest once more. Hug those elbows in. Press into your palms, lifting all the way up to upward dog. Press into your knees, pushing back into child's pose once more. Now let's come back up into table pose. Let's swing around, coming into a seated position. Again, I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Hands come to your shins or come to your knees, whichever one is comfortable for you, but always be mindful of your posture. Make sure you're not rounding forward. Just imagine drawing your navel in towards your spine. Breathe. Now what I'd like you to do is you can bring your hands either palms up or palms down, whichever one works for you. But let's close your eyes. We're going to go inside now. We're slowing it down. The focus has been on the body. Now the focus is on the breath. Breathing in and out. As you breathe in and out, let's focus on the word accomplishment. You've made a simple accomplishment this morning for simply showing up to this class. I want you to imagine from the soles of your feet all the way to the crown of your head, filling up with accomplishment. The feeling that you've moved forward with something. You've completed a goal. Notice how that feels in your body. Where do you feel it most? Do you feel that sense of accomplishment maybe in your abdomen? You may feel it in your heart. You may feel it in your fingertips. But notice where you feel accomplishment most in your body. Just notice. If accomplishment had a color, what color would it be? If accomplishment were a place, where would you be? Would you be at the top of a mountain? Would you be diving in the ocean? Would you be running across a finish line? Where would you be if you felt a deep sense of accomplishment? Would you be at your job? Would you be in your home? Notice. Whenever you're ready, begin bringing your awareness back into whatever room you're in right now. Just start bringing gentle movements to your toes and your fingers. Nod your head right and left. If your eyes were closed, open them. Then close them once more. Notice the difference between the dark of closing your eyes and the light. Now let's open those eyes once more. Whenever you're ready, stretch your arms out. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Let's exhale with a sigh. You know, sighing is so healthy for you. Stretch your arms out. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Let's exhale with a sigh. Let it all out. May the light in me see the light in each one of you. Thank you so much for joining me for the morning exhale. Such an accomplishment. Namaste. Have a great day.